do?
Okay, so Ondas, they're a Boston-based company. Um, they make autonomous robotic systems. Probably one of the most vast portfolio that I've ever seen. It's taking like Boston Dynamics, like those dog robots on the battlefield, those unmanned ground robots. Then you add, say, Red Cat or another few of these drone companies or Aero Environment to that blend. On top of that, then you're going to add like Paladine, right? The brains of the whole operation. You mix all of those together and you get this. And it's an incredible ecosystem of robotics products in general. It is mainly driven by defense, but there's also civilian uses for this. Patrolling the areas around airports
Mm.
for, counter defense measures and things like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
didn't they get FAA approval for
they
that
did. The,
recently, or maybe not super recently?
the, fir-
Yeah, one
the, that's
one
the
thing
first.
that's
Yeah.
pretty fun that they got to be a part of is they were chosen. There's Ondas Centric system was chosen to provide counter drone protection for the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Oh, all right. There we go. Protecting our athletes.
It's this is so interesting. This interview is going to go on forever. Jonathan, do you have any other questions?
Oh, I got so many questions. So let's
All
stick
right.
to that really quick, what they do. We see this company on the battlefield, but I want to real quickly highlight they were in the news for some acquisition or something that happened just, was it this morning or yesterday, over the weekend? Tell us about what they're doing to kind of grow their business in addition to just finding new contracts with the developments they have.
I mean, they announced buying Omnisys, an Israeli-based battlefield optimization AI system, just to kind of vamp up, as I said, the brains portion of their portfolio. It was pretty expensive. It was $200 million. That was just announced today. The stock's down today. Let's look, around 10%. I think that's because, besides the significant revenue growth that we'll talk about in a little bit, um, they're continuing to make large acquisitions. And I think a lot of investors are just waiting on these earnings instead. But I think it was a really fantastic acquisition. And then there's another acquisition. Well, not an acquisition, excuse me. Contract in the South Pacific, Asia Pacific region,
Hmm.
which they're not at liberty to say who it was with. I've got a pretty good idea. But uh, so as they're awarded all of these contracts, and once again, um, they're on the blue list for that's the preferred government contract vendor list. Means no one part in your any machine that you make is made in China or made in a different country that could cause any sort of conflict of interest or uh, uh, any sort of a security issue. No one else is going to know what's in this machine because it's made here and every single part inside of it is made here and it's under top secret clearance. And so that you got to get on that blue list to be a preferred vendor for the government.
Awesome.
I'm not that smart. I just found out about this, so I'm just
Th-
sharing.
That's great. Well, Walter, give me a little, let's nerd out in this a little bit. They describe four main areas of their business: networks, autonomous drones, counter drones, and AI. What are we looking at? Like, just paint a picture of what these things look like. Are these big drones, little drones? How expensive are their outlays to build these things? And what's their pipeline for manufacturing the drone side, at least, of their business?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about every size of drone. I mean, you have different use for drones, of course. Ones that are, you know, used for defense, and then some that are just used for intelligence that'll have a camera. So, you got a relative scale there. And then just the private wireless network they're able to provide for, you know, the Asian Pacific region, for instance, I mean, that's a multi-phase defense contract. You need to have strong privacy or any sort of intelligence, counterintelligence. It's just needs to be there. And then you have mission critical connectivity as well. So, that sort of work towards that build is something that they've been working on for a while. They miss expectations on both revenue and earnings in the short term, but this long-term opportunity is clearly just blooming. I mean, they've set up a lot of different contracts. They had a merger with Minstrel, a US-based contractor. That was a $175 million deal. They had an acquisition of Skylance. That's a UK innovator, and that'll open the door for multi-billion-dollar export opportunities in sovereign defense markets. So, I mean, we're seeing this as a strong buy with everything they've built up to this point to really start, distribution in a way.
Brian, tell me a little bit about the breakdown between civilian and military, and also I'm going to assume they're using a lot of cash, burning through cash like crazy. Does that mean they're going to go out and look for more funding? What's their plan to kind of meet some of these growth expectations that you guys are describing?
Right. So the majority of the revenue is defense. But also they are the first to be awarded, FAA clearance to protect airports, and it's great. And they do civilian, so I'd say security and measures to protect civilian infrastructure. But that is a much smaller portion than the defense budget itself. Maybe they've got contracts with the Department of War, Homeland Security, all the way down the list, right? They're on the blue list. So, but if we talk about AeroVironment years and years ago, I mean, that's AeroVironment's a huge name, or Kratos. Those are huge defense names. So this was a smaller company not too long ago, remember? And so they're going from revenues of 50 million in 25 to 390 million in 26 to 680 million in 27. I mean, those are the numbers. I mean, from Bloomberg Data Services, there's my disclaimer, and it's on there. So first of all, you can't even comprehend that kind of revenue growth. I've never seen it before. Now, there comes a cost with that, and that's to earnings. So they don't have earnings. They are making a lot of acquisitions, and not little ones. It's 200 million here, a couple hundred million there. But once again, that's why it's down today, I think, because of another acquisition news, and that just extends the timeline before you're going to see earnings. But also to take a little company and make it one of the largest defense or autonomous robotic systems providers. Well, why wait 20 years to do that? Just do it now. I don't care.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how are they going to get this cash to meet these things?
Well, I think they're using all the cash on hand that they have available to them. I haven't seen any dilution. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Walter, have you?
No,
Are you
I
are
haven't
you
seen
feeling
that
a
either.
secondary coming?
That's it? No, I didn't.
No
Sorry, I didn't
secondaries.
catch what you said.
Do we see a secondary coming to help finance some of this growth, or do they have enough cash on hand to kind of meet their short-term objectives?
With that many contracts signing and the ways they're making moves, like Brian mentioned, their growth, they seem to be very organized in a way that if they could find backing if they need to, but I didn't read on any new backings.
Brian, who are these guys? Who started this company? Who are these people? And why are they have to have some inside scoop to help them in addition to their cool technology? Who are these guys?
They come from very humble beginnings. It was like I said, Boston, Massachusetts-based company. I said compared them to Boston Dynamics already. So they were venture-backed firm for quite some time before they became public. And so they were very similar to Boston Dynamics. They were doing a lot of things, even back then, with the military and testing and all experimenting on all these systems. But when they decided to go public, is when they were really able to grab the amount of capital to diversify
Hmm.
into all of these other areas. I mean, it was just a random, not random, that's not the right word, but it was one of these smaller companies that we talk about quite often. And it went from there to where it is now, one of the top leading and fastest growing. And we're on here talking about robots,
Mhm.
automation, right? And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, AeroVironment Kratos has a competitor. Wow, wow, all out of the box. So I think it's amazing, but their scale and their ecosystem of products, good luck keeping up with them.
Yeah, it does seem their background. They've got a lot of bankers, consultants, a lot of access to
Well,
strategies as much as
there's a lot of scientists and engineers and very, very smart people in the back office over there too.
man, that's awesome. So we're keeping an eye year to date. We're negative on the stock price. It's trading at just about just short of $10. Our 1 year number is insane. We're up almost 4 digits for their 1 year number. But what should we be looking at here? Should we expect to see the stock flat with rates peaking a little bit here? Do we expect to see some growth, especially with this acquisition traded up? What are we looking for from
Well,
stock price
so
over the next 12 months?
let's not put my name on the line right now. Let's do the average analyst
Perfect.
on the streets 12-month target.
Let's hear it.
Okay, it's 112%.
For the year.
Over the next 12 months, the average analyst on the streets, the average is a return of 112%.
Wow. So we put the stock price about $20 over the next 12
Abs-
months is what you're saying.
I,
Hmm.
I do.
I bet they would be pretty excited about that.
Well, that's the
As would
numbers.
you.
Yeah.
As would you. What else do we want? So what's your parting wish? What do you want us to know about Ondas? What should we keep our eye on? Because I have a feeling a lot of people that I speak to that know robotics, this one's on their radar for sure. What's something that they should know?
I think it should stay there. It's I haven't seen a whole lot of things like it as far as a company just taking over uh, a whole space and having such an ecosystem of products from the air to the land to nimble instruments to AI to security to, I mean, it's just amazing. I don't know. I am very comfortable sleeping at night with that in my portfolio. Walter?
That's awesome. That's what we want to hear. So we've been covering some interesting ones the last couple of days here, and Ondas is one of the exciting ones, but sleep well at night, exciting ones. We like to hear that. Well, Walter, Brian, thank you. This is great. Ondas ONDS. Price today about 960. I'm looking forward to holding you to that number, even though it's the average one. You said
Do
it
it.
from your lips to the market's ears, as I
That's
say.
fine.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll be back for more. This is great. Appreciate everybody joining Alpha Watch. Brian and Walter, you guys keep up the great work.
Always.
Thanks, Sean.